Hello and welcome to our podcast, Cozy Conversations with the Sister Project. I'm Lauren and I'm Michelle, and we're so excited you stopped by for a visit. Come on in. Yeah, make yourself at home. We're two Midwestern sisters who love a good old-fashioned conversation and enjoy sharing our life experiences with one another and you. Consider this your one-stop shop for cozy, mindful well-being, along with some entertainment and lots of wheezy laughing. Oh, you bet there'll be a lot of that going around. Our goal is to live our coziest life and inspire you to do the same, because the truth is, we think it's good for your mind and your body. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, let's get cozy. Season's greetings, listener, and welcome to Cozy Conversation with the Sister Project. I am your host, Lauren Massarella, being joined by my cozy co-host, Michelle Anderson. Welcome, Michelle.
Ho, holy cow. How are you?
Ho. I'm good. You know, you just reminded me of my most recent piece that I wrote for Hillgrove Avenue magazine. It was titled Feeling Overwhelmed. And
brava, by the way. Brava.
Thank you. And in the moment of writing that piece, I was exceptionally overwhelmed. I was going through some sleep issues with Luna, and I wrote, one of my lines was, ho, ho, help. So that, because I was in a help me moment. We've moved on from that, thankfully. But I think that this podcast today is going to be a good reminder for our listener that if they're feeling overwhelmed, if they're feeling like gifts, oh my God, gifts, got to get more gifts. This might be a good reminder to say, hey, maybe you don't. Maybe what you got, what you're given,
what you're doing is enough.
Yeah. Because you know what we like to say around here
is enough.
You do enough and you are enough.
Say it to yourself in the mirror, like just like Stuart Smalley.
What do you say?
Enough. I am enough. And gosh darn it, people like me. Gosh darn it, people like me. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn it, people like me.
Honestly, wise words.
Yeah. I mean, out of SNL is putting out some good vibes. You know, that helped. People walked away from that and we're like, I'm going to take that and apply it. And we're talking to it 25 years later.
Right. Honest to God. Wow. Great. You guys, we have a wonderful, cozy conversation for you today. We are talking about gift-giving wellness. We're throwing some hard-hitting facts about how much people spend on kids, how many presents, percentages of parents that are overwhelmed by this gift giving. So we're excited for you to listen to it and see, does this make a difference in how you are going to gift give anyone this year, whether it's a kid of yours or a loved one, whatever.
Yeah. And I just want to say, and if you know somebody, if there's somebody in your life that you're feeling like, gosh, they could really use this, or I feel like they might, like this might connect with them, do us a solid and share this with your overwhelmed friend who is falling to the pressures of what Christmas or what they think Christmas is about or should be.
You make such a good point, because I do believe that everything is a choice. Yes, Christmas and the holidays is in and of itself an overwhelming busy time of year, but there's so many decisions that you can make while in the season to say like, hey, I'm taking a step back here. I'm not going to do this, or I'm going to do this to make this easier. And there's just a lot of balancing that you can do to actually take back a little control.
Totally.
So yeah, definitely share this with a friend who you might think would love to listen. And great news, local picklers. We have another new league coming up. So this one was so popular. People were begging us to do another league.
Let's do another league.
So you're hearing this first. Michelle.
NetGame League signups are open, and the Sister Project's next league is going to run on Thursdays. The link is live, so you can get online and head to NetGame to sign up. But also, I want to encourage you, if Thursday night's Pickle League doesn't work for you, or you were somebody that missed out last time and we're like, shoot, now this time doesn't work for me, this time or whatever, there are other leagues.
Tons of leagues.
There are other leagues. Sign up for one. And then also, pickle enthusiasts, the night's not good for you. You're like me and you've got a flexible daytime situation. Hear me out. Play pickle at NetGame. There are slots available for all levels every single day. Go get comfy with their Court Reserve app and go check out the events, and I'll see you there.
Oh, you guys, you'll definitely see Michelle there. Well, there you have it, local picklers. And listen, while you're like over by NetGame, right around the corner is our favorite cannabis dispensary, Cureleaf. And it's the holiday season.
Oh,
Speaking of a
stocking
good,
stuffer,
simple gift,
Santa, Secret Santa,
Santa
White
Claus is
Elephant. Yeah,
coming to
town. And you're
town.
relaxed with some CBD and some THC to get you calm and smooth for the holiday. Yeah.
Oh my God, that jingle was
Cureleaf, I'm
spectacular.
here all day if you want me to just pen a little jingle for you.
Okay, I don't even know how to end that. Use our code
That's it.
Sister30 for 30% off at Cureleaf. You took my breath away. You are a jingle
I'm
master.
Here all day. I am, actually. I've always been quick with the words.
Oh my goodness gracious. I took my breath away. Oh my God. You guys, I love working with my sister. I'm wishing you all a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Share us, write us a review. Happy holidays and stay cozy.
Enjoy. Right on time.
9:01. We have only, how many days? I think 16 days until Christmas.
16 days until Christmas. Savannah on the Today Show announced it and then was like, that gives me anxiety, which is...
Gives you anxiety or
no,
Savannah
shared? Savannah. I actually have, I don't know what's going on with me this year, but I am in a good headspace.
That's great.
Yeah.
We're going to talk more about gifts later in today's episode, but I loved the photo that you shared with me of wrapping with Trader Joe's bags. That's what I think they're for.
Oh my God.
I think they do a kind of a Christmassy holiday theme in hopes that you'll reuse, reduce, and recycle.
And yeah, I mean, I've never had more fun. It's sort of like a little bit of a puzzle because there's such cute imagery on one side and then it's more like this Art Deco this year, striping. So if you fumble with a little bit, you can kind of get the image right on the package and it's just
it's adorable.
Adorbs.
And it's free 99. Well, actually, you probably paid 7 cents in tax
for those bags.
Bag tax. Do you guys get bag taxes out there in the suburbs? Because we do in the city.
I don't think we do, but at Aldi, they provide no bag. And if you want to purchase a bag, you have to pay something.
Well, I will say that I did buy the $3.99 big Trader Joe's tote bag because it's awesome.
Yep.
And it's it is huge. I don't need they got the one now that I just saw. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are hitting us up. They have the more the cooler version. It's it's insulated.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to get that. But the big tote is great because it's actually huge.
Is this the one because we use one that is from Mariano's, but it fits in basically it fills the entire cart.
Not that big.
Okay, that's how big ours is. But then what we do is we just put that on the thing.
In the cart, in there, and then put everything in there.
And then they empty it, and then they put everything back in it, then we just lift it and carry it to the car.
That's lovely. No, but this is just a big-ass Trader Joe's bag. It's cute. It's canvas color, tote color, and then with the navy blue stripe and strap, and then a red Trader Joe's. It's very old school, very
There's
LL
nothing
Bean.
cute about ours. It's hideous, but it does the job.
It does the job.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of,
especially because nothing makes me more enraged than when people put one thing in a plastic bag at the carousel at a Target or something
me want
like
to punch
that.
Someone in the nose.
I get so freaking pissed off. I just am why? And every time I go through, I'm that lady saving a turtle. You're saving something. Several turtles today. Dear God, stop using one individual bag to put my oversized plastic bottle of body soap that's also going to go in the landfill. And I hate everybody. Thanks. Happy holidays.
God bless.
I feel better now that I got that out.
I'm glad that you got that off your chest.
That was really
sounds like you were holding that one in.
Yeah, it's out now.
So let's talk about our weekend real quick. I got a quickie. I just had a holiday-filled extravaganza of a weekend, and it wasn't an overdoing it kind of thing. It was really just kind of a chill segue into the weekend. It started off with my friend Maggie and I went to the One of a Kind show at the Merchandise Mart, which is fantastic.
I kind of wish you would have called me. I mean, I don't know if I could have gone, but
next year.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I found some wonderful gifts, and it truly is one of a kind. People will have a piece of jewelry. They'll have their jewelry line, but like each set is like a one of a kind
Love
gift
it.
or
Love it.
piece. Just so creative. I did make the mistake of telling Maggie that we should walk through like the gourmet food section
Why
of
would that be a
the.
mistake?
Oh, because that's where I'm like, here, $12 for some like dehydrated vegetables. Like, just I eat they were so good. I bought 2 bags.
What
I
kind of
know.
vegetables? What kind?
Oh, all sorts of kinds, dehydrated zucchini, cauliflower, carrot
It's
with
not where I'm
different.
going in that holiday one of a kind market. Take me to the chocolate, one of a kind
And
chocolate
there's
bar.
beautiful
Okay.
like bonbons that are painted like
Yeah,
snowmen.
that's where I'm headed.
I'm such a dork. And anyways, I had a little bit of buyer's regret after that. But at the same time, I was
Bummer.
like, you know what? Tis the
It's
season.
tis the
I saw
season.
people leaving with bags full of
So people are
food and
going there. Do you think people are going there and doing their full bore holiday shopping?
for themselves and for others. Absolutely. It's an incredible place to get gifts that you'll never see you won't see them in stores. They're exceptionally creative individuals that join, that get a booth there. So that was fun. And then actually while we were, we were walking to and into the show. And as we were doing that, I had to run back and get something in the car. And all of a sudden I hear a grown man just yell, "Move!" And Maggie was standing in the biker's lane. So
Did she jump out of the way?
yeah. And I was like, "Hey,
Right.
mister." I was like, "Chill out." Maggie's like, "I did not see him coming." I'm like, "Oh, and he rang his
Yeah,
bell
and
too."
clearly he wasn't
Chicago.
slowing down for her.
And
Get
I
out
just
of the
hollered
way.
back. Yeah, I don't care if she saw you or not. I'm going to defend my friend to the bitter end. And then
Hilarious.
we bellied up at the bar at Jean and Georgetti's. What a holiday vibe. Everyone in their long coats, people sucking down martinis left and right.
Did you get one?
Yes. And it
Yum.
was fantastic. It was just another delicious martini.
I'm going to surprise you with a bit of information right now. I ordered not a martini, but I ordered a Kettle One on the rocks with a side of olive juice and olives and had my own version.
Okay. That is wonderful. Why not just order a martini?
I don't know that where I was going to be getting exactly what hit in that moment. And I didn't feel like having Miller Lights, a lot
Yeah.
of Miller Lights.
Tell you what, you have one martini and that was like done and done. It's just such a good, it's perfect.
Well, I'm going to dive into it a little bit more because I'm going to just explore that a little
Just
bit.
go and order a martini. None of the
Mhm.
sidecar bullshit. Just order.
I kind of liked it.
So did you like put some of the juice in the
Yeah.
drink?
Yeah.
And
I sort
our
of like,
sister Andrea likes her
that's why
martini on the rocks.
that's why I got it, because I had one with her the night before and I was like, this tastes really good.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe next time just order a martini on the rocks.
I will. I'm
You can
going to.
add-
Between sitting in between you and that old friend that we saw at that bar before we spoke, and he described, the thing that I'm learning about martini drinkers, very specific.
Yes.
Very specific requirements, different folks, different strokes for different folks.
Yep, absolutely. And then, we rounded out the weekend with a little 11-year anniversary celebration at Spockanopoly. We took Dad and Debbie with a Y because it's their birthdays. Had a marvelous time. Every year we go, haven't missed a year, maybe COVID we missed, but that's where we got married and we go back every year. And then I took Luna to see Santa and Mrs. Claus to a wonderful fundraiser. And this fundraiser was put on by Wings. And Wings is a fundraiser that focuses on breaking the cycle of domestic violence. They have 2 different homes, I believe, in Chicago proper, to help house individuals and families who are leaving really terrible circumstances. And they offer them shelter along with just education, integrated services, and obviously advocacy to end domestic violence. And I was invited through a friend. And I will say it was one of the most fun. It was one of the funnest fundraisers I've ever been to. There were are you ready for this? They had calming dogs. I'm usually, I thought they were called
Did
like
you have an
service or
allergy
support
attack?
dogs. I didn't because I took my medicine before because I
Okay,
read the
good.
thing. So I took
Okay,
my
good.
medicine.
Good.
And these dogs, there were like 6 or 7 of them, just calming dogs. And what I learned about them, is that they bring them into, okay, so they go everywhere, like college campuses during finals, campuses or schools that have experienced shootings. So they bring them in for kids to get, like calm. Alzheimer's and dementia patients, nursing homes, sick patients with, different terminal diseases or families that have gone through, really tragic moments. These dogs are like, they are mush. They just lay there
my
and
God.
you literally can like put your
Lay
head
on them.
under its armpit. Luna loved it. And I have to say, top-notch Santa Claus and the missus. Real beard. See, here's my thing. I think I don't really have a lot of criteria for seeing a Santa Claus. We go, if she wants to go near them, great. If not, no big deal. She sat on my lap. But I do think I need to find the Clauses that have the real beard. The strap-on beard, I'm not into strap-ons.
Well, you know what? And I'm not into strap-ons either, beard or otherwise. But what I'm going to say is you could come to LaGrange anytime during the Christmas season.
And that fellow has a real beard.
Our friends at Whisper Me Home. It's Heidi's husband. I can't remember his name.
Him. Yes.
He literally is like LaGrange's Tim Allen.
Yes.
I don't think he's big of as an asshole as Tim Allen is, but that guy starts growing his beard out. Like I watched I saw him in July and I was like, you getting going? He's like, gotta start now.
No strap on for him. No strap on. What's the point? Just find a man with a white beard and give him some money.
Totally.
And let's call it a day.
There are plenty out there.
So it was great. And I know, once in college, I got to tell you this story. I'm in college. I'm in my apartment at the time. And this is not for children's ears, but it's a story and I'm going to tell it. And I hear a rapping at my door. And I'm like, oh, I wonder who that could be. And it was my crazy neighbor. She was kooky. She was kooky out there. But you know what? She
like kooky fun or kooky spookalooky? Because, one is not as fun.
She was kind of like in the middle, like kooky fun, but also spooky kookalooky, kind of like aggressive. Here's my point. She knocks on the door and I open the door and she goes, well, what do you think? And she's wearing like a tank top.
Okay.
And she's like, what do you think? And I'm looking for like a new hairdo. Did she get like a piercing in her nipples? Like, what are we looking at today? And she like points down and she was wearing a strap on.
Okay. Well, wow. That would probably have been like, well, what do we got here? I mean, what are we doing, Nabe? How can I help you?
And I said, that is very interesting. And I hope whoever you are using that with likes it as much as you do.
Wow. Yep. That was not the way my experience went down in Charleston, Illinois. Different.
She was very artsy. I think she was just coming to show off her new equipment and
open. Good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah. Michelle. Well, you were like visiting Santa and
warding off strap-ons.
Don't even know where to go with that one. I kind of had a chill weekend, which I love because I feel like leading up to this past weekend was like insane. Watched a lot of wrestling. Shout out to Will. He had a real nice win on Saturday.
Well done,
love it. Played a lot of pickle inside and outside. So
listener, you need to know something. Every time I talk to Michelle, she is either coming or going from pickle or isn't answering because she's text messaging me, I am at pickle. So this is her life.
Worship it. Yeah. Yesterday, actually, me, Mel, my bandmate, Ryan, my husband, and this guy, Dan, who we've never met before, we played pickle. And
how is Dan these days?
Well, Dan his serves were so hard that the ball would whistle. Would whistle as it would cross the net. And to be honest, Mel and I we were not playing our best and it was a pretty rough go. We even demanded a rematch, even though we just got our asses handed to us. Anyway, it wasn't great. We left. And as I was leaving, I told, Dan, that he could shove his serve up his ass. And we all laughed.
Yep. I can relate to that so much. Honestly, that's how I feel with your serves sometimes and other people's serves. They're wicked fast. And I'm just like, fuck off. Like, what do you want me to do with that?
If you think my
I'm gonna get out of the way.
If you think my serve is fast, like when we were playing Ryan and this guy, every time he would be up for serve, I was being such an asshole. I'd be like, get on your armor. Get your shield out. Like,
this is very relatable.
That is hilarious.
Very relatable.
So yeah, so that is, and then like mostly the other thing is like this was our first weekend in transitioning here from pickle to me and having twin teen drivers. Mia is doing exactly what she had promised she would do, and that is drive all over God's green earth. To be honest, we really haven't seen her much. She's at the library. She's preparing for finals. She's living her best life. Will not so much. He's not driving as much as her. He did take his first solo trip. His text back to me when he returned home was hilarious. He was like, I made it in one piece. God is good. Like I could tell there was like a little underlying anxiety.
There's a little hum of anxiety.
Totally. There. But I have like a parenting tip that I think is worth sharing for folks of new drivers. Every time, mostly Mia, but both of my kids have come in the door from driving, I ask them how it was. And then if there were any driving moments or interactions in my head, I'm thinking, AKA near crashes that they might want to go over with me. And they both have like sat down and been like, sharing scenarios like, okay, I was at a 4-way intersection and just kind of walking through some things. So it is opening up conversation for them to kind of like hash out some things. I think maybe they would have left wondering, what did I do that right? Was that wrong?
I'm still wondering some things. I should come over to your house and have a convo with you.
To be honestly, I don't know why they're asking me.
I'm actually shocked they're asking you.
But it's because I'm asking them, if it were somebody else around here.
Mom, when you do donuts, when you're taking a right turn at a stop sign that you blew, is that illegal?
I know we do. And then at the end, we say, do as I say, not as I do. And they walk off on their merry way.
Bless. What a lovely thing, though. The more I read about, and, we follow a lot of parents of teen accounts now, like, different psychologists and communication experts.
I love them.
Excuse me. And it's really, yes, I like seeing what they are teaching and how you're putting that into practice in your own home. Bravo. Well done.
It's all about honestly, it's about getting curious. It's about getting curious with your kid.
They actually, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just reading, this is going to come in the new year, you guys, an article about how curiosity is so good for your brain health and your overall well-being.
It's the
except for the cat,
thing that
curiosity kills
the cat. The cat never comes out alive after getting about a curiosity.
And that's just another dumb saying to strike fear into people.
Curiosity killed the cat.
I mean, but then also cats have 9 lives. Like, so which is
they're
it?
like, fuck you, curiosity. I'm coming back anyway.
I think it's a stupid saying. I hate that one.
I've never really broken it down before.
Well, if you think about it.
Now I am. Now thinking about it, I'm like, never not be curious. Ask all the questions.
Speaking of quotes and sayings, I mentioned that we were at dinner with Dad with the knife, and we had such a lovely meal. God damn it, that place is good. It's probably been a minute since you've been there.
Maybe since your wedding.
God, well then maybe next year come with, because we go once a year, if not more, but always once. And Dad and I and Debbie and Anthony, we were talking about something, and I don't know how the quote came up, but I threw out, youth is wasted on the young. I just said that. And then Dad goes, and wealth is wasted on the old. And I was like, is that an OG?
Hang on a second.
And we thought, we actually broke down.
What
He's like,
I
don't know. He kind of came, this is a knife
Nickism?
OG. This is a Nickism. We chatted about it then. And then we were chatting about like how, and I was like, so what does that mean? Like, is it like, how are you using this? Is it because like if people who hold on to their money and then they get old, and then if they're too old and sick or like, feeble bodied to actually use their money, and then he was like, when he was talking about it, he had said this years ago, I guess to somebody else. And he was saying it in the concept that like, the youth need the money. So it's like that's when you're like in dire, when you are kind of falling on hard times and when you could really use the money. That's where it kind of originated from. But I thought that was quite, you could take it however you want, but wealth is wasted on the old.
I kind of don't agree with that. I mean, I agree with it and then I don't agree with it because I think that sadly in this country, getting old is something that if you don't have, you better have money if you're old. So that can go either way,
Totally. And
wealth can really, really be used when you're old too.
Exactly. So however you want to look, it's perspective is everything.
That cash flow. Totally.
And it's kind of like youth is wasted on the young. Why? Why is youth wasted on the young? Like what's that saying supposed to mean?
Yeah. Why does it have to die like when just in what you decide is your younger years?
Exactly.
Why can't you feel youthful and live like you're young every day, no matter what your age? Yeah. Screw that.
A little philosophy,
stupido.
Deep thinking for our listeners.
Oh my God, my brain hurts after that thought there. That was good.
Oh, I love that. It was a great conversation. It was fun to kind of like pick it apart and just, think about it. Michelle, I noticed in your notes here that you did something that Anthony and I have done, but it's a different place that you went to, different business. You tried out Perspire Sauna Studio in Downers Grove.
I did.
Now, Anthony and I have tried Contrast. It's the same idea. Listener, we're talking hot cold therapy. Sauna for however minutes. I did 15 and then cold plunge for like 1 to 2, however many minutes. I find the cold plunging to be more difficult than the sauna. What was your take on it, Michelle? And how was your experience?
Well, first of all, I've just been craving sauna. Like
it's that time of year.
The weather gets cold and
sauna.
Yes, sauna for the Nordics. And my friend Lindsay, she's the only other person on planet Earth, well, her and the Scandies that say sauna. And I'm pretty sure her family were like naked Scandies in Michigan building their own saunas.
That's my life dream.
That's how they roll around there.
Damn it.
But I was looking not to get naked in a group, just by myself and go break a sweat. And I kept seeing these guys pop up in my feed. And I'm like, hang on a second. Perspire is in Downers Grove. I'm going to check this place out. So I did. Your first time is $20 for a 40-minute experience.
That's really nice.
So that was like a great deal and great way to go check it out. They're infrared saunas with red light therapy. And then they also, I think, have like what's called like multi-light therapy. The recommendation is you leave the infrared on because it's so good and there's so many health benefits.
Yes.
But these other lights, yellow light, blue light, orange light, each light kind of, it inspires a relaxation or detox or whatever.
Okay.
Very nice. You sit in the sauna. There's a glass door. On the other side of the glass door is a screen. So we're like living in the future. I'm sitting in this thing buck ass naked with the towel wrapped around me. And I'm watching the video.
Are you by yourself?
No, I'm with this guy, Jim. Just kidding. I'm totally by myself.
Because we wore bathing suits when we went in ours.
No, I'm by myself. You have a towel, whatever.
And you have your own room?
Yeah, you have your own room. It's almost like today's trendy version
of like tanning
healthful
salon.
Version of a tanning salon.
Yes,
that's
I completely felt the same vibe too.
That's the vibe. And I did the 40-minute thing. I watched the video on Netflix and then I really relaxed for the majority of my time. They encourage you to raise the temperature a little bit so I did that. And in the last 10 minutes, it's hot. I turned on Netflix and I watched nothing, whatever, just pass the time. And then they leave you with like a little eucalyptus hand towel that you kind of like clean off afterwards. I really liked it.
And then did you do a cold plunge?
No, that is not part of this experience.
Oh, okay. Copy
so your
that.
Cold plunge is a chilled eucalyptus scented towel.
Copy that. So at Contrast where we went, there is a legit tub, like a basin that you sit in, and it is so fucking cold. One was 39 degrees, one was 50 degrees. And the 39 is like, you feel like Jack from Titanic.
Totally. You've only got seconds to live. Seconds to live.
Because here's the deal. It's the holiday season. And why are we going to add more stress onto our plates when our plates are fulleth?
Because we're all a bunch of idiots.
Well,
I can't think of a different reason.
Well, here's the good news. So this is how this topic was born in my brain. Michelle sent me, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, a couple photos of her very cute items or gifts that she had wrapped with Trader Joe's bags. And now my friend Maggie, when she gifts things, she always wraps in newspaper, the New York Times. And sometimes she gets creative and finds a certain image, and that's like the front of it, which is so fun.
Cool.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm a huge believer in this. About a year or two ago, I stopped buying new like bags and shit. And like this whole like, this year's theme of gift wrapping is going to be a velvet bow with a jingle bell. No, this year's theme of gift wrapping is going to be what I have left from last year.
Yeah.
And if I need more, then I'll buy more. But something that Anthony and I started last year, I just made it happen, was we got some really beautiful Christmas holiday gift bags.
Mm-hmm.
And I give him, and those are what we use every year for each other. Like, you need a bag? Here's that really fucking cute one with the winter scene with the cardinal that has a little glitter on it. You can use this one again. And we use it. We open our presents, we pack them back up, and they go back into the Christmas, the boxes
bin,
until next
Christmas
year.
Bin, yep.
I mean, these things are what? $3 to $7 a piece for a nice bag, right? So why not just keep using it? And so this got my wheels thinking about like how much are people spending on money, on gifts, specifically gifts a year for loved ones? And I'm really thinking about also like for kids and whatnot, or even for like friends and spouses and whatnot. So here's what I did, a little research, and this is what I can share with our listener and you today, Michelle. So this was a statistic I obtained last night. The average spending on kids. Parents in the U.S. spend an average of $276 per child on holiday gifts. Though, of course, this varies depending on family income and priorities. Mm-hmm. Priorities meaning, are we gifting gifts or are we going to do an experience? Like those, like what are our priorities as a family? Side note, I also wanted to share that I saw a Drew Barrymore clip, and this has been going around for years now. I think she shared it in 2022 and it was brought back to the old social media this year. She doesn't give physical gifts to her kid or kids. She straight up does experiences. Like there's no gift giving on Christmas. We are going to get up and we're going to go somewhere. That's what she does. I also found that to be a very intriguing form of gift giving. I'm all about the experiences myself. Let's get back to some stats, hard-hitting facts here. Number of gifts. Many parents aim for 3 to 8 gifts per child. But this varies because there's the 4-gift rule that a lot of parents as of late have been adopting. And it's the want, need, wear, and read, which is becoming ever so popular to help kind of eliminate the excess of gift giving.
Yeah.
Michelle, you are the one that first told me about this 4-gift rule years ago.
Yeah.
And we're really working hard to do something very similar.
I love it. It's like the only thing from Pinterest. Actually, somebody told me about it, but I joked. It's like the only thing from Pinterest I've ever actually done and stuck to. It's just like such a great way to, like, for example, my kids need this year. Well, they don't have suitcases. They don't have their own carry-on bag.
It's a great gift.
They're going to get a carry-on bag.
Michelle,
I hope they're not
awesome
sad
gift.
that there's not 2 tickets. Like I heard Mia talking on her phone with her friends and she was like, you know what? I haven't even given my list this year. I think I'm just going to ask for a summer trip to Greece. Well, honey, I'm so sorry to disappoint you. There aren't going to be any of those tickets in your carry-on, but the next trip you take, you'll be ready to go.
But here's like an idea with that. Okay, maybe it won't be Greece, but like a way to explore her love for travel is where in the States or Midwest would you want to go with your new bag? Like go up to the UP or somewhere like that's not thousands of dollars to get to. Like you say carry on.
She could even pack that, take a day trip to the city and we could stop off at Greek islands for the evening dinner. You know what? And there you have it.
Another hard-hitting stat here is that there's parental pressure, as we all know and feel. Yeah. Studies show that 62% of parents feel pressure to overspend on gifts to meet societal, peer, and social media expectations.
So this is where we insert the sister project careless method, and that whole feeling dissipates.
It is such a freeing feeling. And I'm using it within my own household too, because my love language is gift giving. I do love giving gifts. And with Anthony and with Luna, I have not scaled back. I've just become more mindful of what I'm gifting them. We're definitely trying to work. Anthony and I both play Santa and Mrs. Claus for Luna. So again, we don't know what each other are getting her, but we kind of have like a price limit, and we both get her the read, need, want, wear kind of thing.
Yeah. Cute.
And we also are an experienced type of family. Like I think, coming up in the next year, we'll have a different type of trip planned for our family to go do something really different and cool. And that is taken into consideration when it comes to gift giving. Like, let's not go crazy here because we're going to pack shit up.
That is what we actually did this year. Our friend Killeen texted all of us and said, I think that we all need to go to a Post Malone show. I think we need to take all of our families and we need to experience this. So we all of my mushroom heads bought our family tickets to Post Malone in the same section. We are going to take a bus to Wrigley.
You guys are going to do it. Oh, Wrigley's such a great place to see concerts.
And that is, I have really kind of kept it. They're still getting a lot. They don't.
Oh my God, how fun, Michelle.
Yeah.
I love this idea. Yeah. And especially bringing it in with other families as well, which will just make it more fun.
Yeah. Can't wait.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about like what happens. So I did a little bit more research about gift giving. What happens when we overgive? When we
breed assholes.
In other words, yes. Well, let's talk about this. And I'm sure you can give, I know people out there that give their kids beautiful things and their kids are normal functioning, polite people. I know, totally, but I'm saying like there is space to spoil the shit out of them and also teach them manners. And then there is the spoiled asshole, but let's talk about it for a minute. So what does over gifting look like when it's not actually taken into consideration and whatnot?
Lay it out there.
Decreased sense of gratitude. Mm-hmm. So as we know, receiving too many gifts can lead to a sense of entitlement rather than appreciation.
All I'm thinking about is that song, I want the whole world and I want it now.
Wasn't her name? I always make it up. Faruka?
Yes.
Faruka,
that's just what I'm thinking.
That's her. Yes.
Yeah.
Kids may focus on the quantity over the thoughtfulness of the gift. And I have to say, growing up, we were assholes. I mean, we had a very good sense of appreciation and gratitude, but love you, Mom. But Mom didn't have to buy us that many gifts, keep track of the count. We all counted out how many presents each other got. I mean, it was dumb and stupid.
No, and let me tell you that's just not just in her house. Like that's how it is. I'm not saying everybody got a leaning tower of Pisa presents, but this like just parental, the comparison game with the kids. Like if it was more thoughtful and little Susie wanted this item and that was like a big ticket item and maybe that's what little Susie got. And maybe Jimmy, he got a couple of lesser expensive things. Sometimes it's like, but as parents, unfortunately, you freak out and you want to make sure the balance.
Of course. I won't have this problem, thank God.
You will not.
I will not have it. And I'm honestly really happy about that because that was stressful for Mom and that was stressful for the kids as well. It did take away that sense of like, and you guys, this is coming from personal experience, this like overindulgence of gifts. It takes away the magic of what Christmas is all about. And I think that's why with Luna, I'm re-engineering how I'm looking at Christmas because love the gifts, but I like the memories better at growing up as a kid.
Same.
Younger children can become overwhelmed by large number of presents, leading to disinterest and frustration. In fact, they noted in my research that packaging, it's more fun for them to like open the packages. So maybe make that kind of a game or a gift of itself is the experience of like opening maybe using newspaper and having them draw on it first and get a little bit of creative play going.
The kids are all going to get into that.
I'm talking toddlers. I'm talking toddlers, not teenagers. They don't
Jimmy
give a
is not going to be drawing on his package.
No, okay? I'm talking for like a 2-year-old. Reduced creativity. Having fewer toys can encourage kids to use their imagination more and take better care of what they do have. Materialism. A 2018 study found that excessive gift giving, this is like an obvious, is linked to greater materialism in adulthood, which can affect long-term happiness and financial habits.
And I kind of want to dive into that too, because we live in a very materialistic, consuming world today.
Totally.
And like, consider that when you look back on the year and you check your Amazon orders and you see that Susie, Jimmy, Johnny, and Ellie are all basically just rapid fire gathering the things they need throughout the year. They have everything that they could possibly want in the world. Why not consider that and lean into a smaller stack of more thoughtful gifts?
Yes, that is a very, very good point, Michelle. So what experts recommend, which I think that was an expert piece of advice you just offered, is to limit the quantity. Stick to a small number of meaningful gifts to reflect your child's interest and developmental needs.
Totally.
Love it. And like with this little suitcase for the kids, Mia loves traveling. That's an interest of hers. And with William, I think of like tournaments for wrestling or going to see college campuses at some point, whatever.
He's the kid, yes, from the traveling perspective, but back into like leaning into their interests. I think that's the fun part of gifting, because these kids, they want for nothing. And they see the get for nothing too. And they see all that crap.
Yep.
I told my kids, I was like, I'm going to take some liberties this holiday season. So beat it. Okay.
Yeah,
December 1st birthday. You've got everything you could possibly want.
Got everything.
Sorry, it's not your fault that that's your birthday, but I'm going to take some liberties this year and have some fun. You know, they like to cook and do things in the kitchen. So there might be like the coolest waffle maker you've ever seen. Or maybe, I don't know, I haven't picked it out yet. Or maybe it might be that random ass ice cream maker because that sounded fun to a couple people in the house over the last 2 months. You know, like
apron, monogrammed apron,
exactly.
Mitten, you know,
and also things that stand the test of time.
Yes.
Like, especially as your kids get older. I guess I get it when they're younger, they're little still, and things like that don't mean as much. But things like for my kids, like Peggy Pagato, my neighbor, gave me a great idea. Monogrammed keychains, a nice leather, something that lasts forever.
Yes.
This is something nice and quality and it means something. Those things I think are, I don't know, I think they lend itself to that more like meaningful Christmas giving.
Well, the other day I was with you and you had on a bracelet I had not seen for a long time or ever before. And it was like a little diamond tennis bracelet. I'm like, when did you get that? And you're like, Mom and Dad got this for me for my 18th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And you're wearing it.
They were awesome. I think that I might have gotten that because I was the oldest on the front end before the departure of their marriage.
We didn't get any of that kind of stuff.
I mean, I still have a coat at 17 years old from Brooks Brothers. It's like the most gorgeous, classic. I get compliments on it wherever I go. It's stunning.
Because our mom, June Massarella, was a firm believer that everyone should have a long coat, and she's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So other things, focus on experiences. We've talked about that. Encourage giving. So when you're giving, maybe also say to the kid, what are you going to give this year?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to donate? Are you going to make a little ornament for Grammy and Grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's show, you don't just get, you have to, give a little love as well. Space out gifts. If multiple family members are giving presents, spread out the gift opening over the season or the day or days to reduce overwhelm of an influx of more material things.
You know what? I like that idea. I would get over. I hated the present opening thing. My pits would sweat.
Yeah.
My face couldn't hide things. I was like, please put me in a closet with these gifts. I can't handle the stress.
Something that I did this year for Luna in particular was, I did a lot of small shopping from small creators on Etsy. And I ordered weeks ago, so it's all
that's
here.
The only thing. You got to order ahead.
Yeah, you had to order ahead. And things like I got her like a little nature tray, and it says like Luna's nature tray, and there's little containers, like little sections that are kind of carved out, and it says rock, leaf, flower. So we go outside and collect the things and fill up each little. I mean, it's wooden. Someone took like a hot iron to it, and very simple gifts. Luna I'm hoping, and my goal with her is that. And I loved our Christmases. And next week on the podcast, Michelle and I are going to dive into like our family's traditions and cultures for Christmas, which was really fun and funny. But I do think that there were too many presents. Yeah. It was just, I felt like that's where our concentration went to. And for Luna, I want to change that a little bit. And also try to get some new traditions in with her, like, the night before Christmas Eve, maybe we all crack open a book and eat a little box of chocolate, because that's like a Nordic or Scandinavian tradition that I love. This idea of like having a treat and reading a book quietly with your family.
Yeah, I
but
love that.
before
Yeah.
like the big Christmas Eve and Christmas Day nonstop sets in.
Sadly, I do buy my kids a book every year, but at the end of every summer, I do ask them before they go back to school, can you still read? So we are not going to, I don't foresee us having family reading sessions, but maybe coloring or
Michelle,
putting a puzzle together.
Can you
still read? And they can, apparently. So that's great. But
and I just want to say this, we're all just trying to do our best. This is our first time being parents. We don't know. I'm taking my experience and my form of gift giving based on my experience growing up.
Totally.
That, I do have that experience of what it was like to have a very fortunate material Christmas. And I'm very always thankful for that. But at the same time, I'm excited to start a new view of Christmas and what Christmas means in our household. So for all the parents out there, all the gift givers out there, you know what else I'm doing this year, motherfucking? I'm clay making.
I saw you are getting into the clay.
My friend Maggie has inspired me. She gifted me a beautiful handmade gift for my birthday. Absolutely art for my home. Inspired by our trip in Italy. And this dry this air dry clay is so easy to work with. And I made little gingerbreads and I put up the head, the arm, and the legs for either a votive holder or like a little ring holder. Like when you're baking. Did you
come up with that yourself?
I came up with the folding in the head, arms, and legs myself. I don't know. I have a clue how I'm going to paint it yet. But
that's where I would ruin the thing. My painting skills.
I don't care because you know what? Luna made handprint ornaments. We're going to turn them into Santa Claus. And that's like what grandma and grandpas are going to get, maybe with like a little book or a side of chocolate.
And that
I'm thinking simplicity.
And that will mean the most.
Listen, in the Scandinavian countries, they're giving like bags of nuts as gifts and people are ecstatic over it.
Oh, okay? I can't wait for my nuts.
I can't wait for my nuts.
My
Jan's nuts.
Chex, Hillary, if you're listening, Chex Mix.
Hillary, if you're listening, can I get a giant jar of your Chex Mix?
Nuts and Chex Mix for me. And sometimes not sometimes, annually, I get a gift of chocolate covered pecans from this company down south and they are delicious.
Well, spoiler alert for our clients and people that we work with here at the Sister Project, because we are gifting our sister sourdough bread. Michelle and I did decide to go a little old school this year and think of handmade gifts for people. And so we are gifting strictly sourdough by Andrea to our clients. So lucky you guys. And then Michelle, what I'm doing, I will say I'm taking a different page out of June Massarella's Christmas book. And I am gifting neighbors and family friends of our family, like us, like the Ciancio Massarella clan, Mom's ranch dill oyster crackers in a cute Christmas tin. Merry fucking Christmas.
Delicious.
Thank you.
I have another thing that I've done, and I've been thinking about how I could keep this tradition going. When our mom died, I inherited lots of like blank cards that she had. And she had a whole stack of what was the movie that she loved?
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. They were images of It's a Wonderful Life. And I wrote everybody like a letter on that card. And I swear to God, and I also like sobbed when I wrote them too, like depending on who it was or what time of year, whatever. But I feel like that card and that moment to some folks meant more than anything I've ever given ever.
Especially coming from a sister. You are not a hugger. Sometimes I'm looking for you to give me some love.
And you're not gonna get it.
And I'm not gonna get it. But that card you wrote me, that was like lump in throat. Thank you.
Yeah. Even Debbie, I wrote a card to her and she even came up to me after and I was like, okay, like this
matter.
This matters and this, cost free 99
You
for
didn't
my
even
dead
put
mom's
postage on it. It was
box.
basically
No.
free.
Yeah.
Just took some
Yeah.
time.
But I just had an idea of how I'm going to keep that going. So
Okay.
anyway.
Share with us next week. We are coming towards the end of the hour. So we're going to do a lightning round of reading, watching, listening to. Michelle, tell us what you're reading.
Oh,
Quick summary. Would you recommend it to others?
yes.
And go.
Yes. The Patron Saint of Liars by Anne Patchett. I am obsessed. Never read anything by her before.
Me neither.
This was her debut novel that put her on the map.
Really?
It's about Saint Elizabeth's, a home for unwed mothers, and a woman named Rose Clinton, pregnant and married. So she was different than most of the gals there, leaves her life in California and heads to this place in Habit, Kentucky, to a women's home filled with unwed mothers who are going there to, they're shipped off to have their babies.
Of course.
And she ends up staying. I cannot put it down.
I got goosebumps. Okay. I love women's stories.
So good. It's wonderful.
The Patron Saint of Liars by Anne Patchett. I'm still on my storyteller. It's so good. It's just a long read. So yeah, Jodi Picoult, big fan right now already. You guys, Michelle and I both watched Our Little Secret starring Lindsay Lohan. And I put it on because I just need something kind of mindless. And I have to say, we are of the Lindsay Lohan era.
Yep.
And I'm just happy to see her back on screen. Her acting is great. She's funny. She's cheeky.
Hilarious.
She's adorable.
She can't move her face for shit. So
no, because she got some really good work done.
So she's tightened up, but I am here for her. She's great. I loved it.
I thought it was so cute. And her other one, like Falling for You, like from 2 years ago, that one's even cheesier. And
that one's pretty cheesy.
But this one was cute. And the lead guy is a cutie too.
Darling.
And what's her name from Wicked? Kristen, the mom.
Chenoweth.
She's the mom. She's pretty funny in it.
She's hilarious.
Our Little Secret, you guys, on Netflix, worth watching. Okay, worth listening to. I am listening to a book called The Christmas Guest. It's a novella by Peter Swanson. It's like a 2.5 hour listen. So it's a short book on audio on Spotify. Absolutely captivating. It's about a woman from England, set back a little bit in the day, who gets invited to her proper English friend's countryside home for Christmas. But of course, there's a scandal with the brother and there's a little bit of a murder mystery. And I just got to the point where the book took a turn. And I'm like, it stopped me in my tracks. I was folding laundry and I was like, wait, what?
Oh.
So it gives you all of the old English side, countryside, like cozy Christmas, like going to the pub for a nightcap with friends and being merry and jolly. But there's a murder involved. I highly recommend this book either to read or listen to.
All right. Thanks for that share. I am not listening to cozy holiday stories, but I am still in my Mel Robbins binge session.
Forever and always.
And this is actually a good one. And I don't know. I listened to it. All right. It's titled To Anyone Going Through a Breakup, How to Heal a Broken Heart and Move On. Obviously, that's not timely for me right now. But I have 2 kids that are going to have experience this in one day in their life. And I want to be there for them in a way that was different than the way I had been when I was experiencing that for my first time. And I loved the fact that they went into the science of what happens to us when we actually break up, why it is so painful. And it really is, it's a grieving a death. And then the other thing is
absolutely, Michelle. We never thought about that as kids. Like it's hard.
It is in your body. You're neurologically connected to this person. And so it's not like, and so when you're breaking up, you're having to relearn how to go through life without
that person.
Being and seeing and feeling and thinking about that person. And today it's even harder because of social media, and they dive into that a lot. And my favorite takeaway was this no contact for 30 days. And this is all supported by therapists and suggestions. And why? Because Mel's daughter comes on and shares her experience with her breakup, and she's so honest. And I have to give the kid credit. She really, it's not easy to come on and say that all you want to do is stalk your boyfriend, follow him on Instagram, post
see who
things,
they're talking to,
have your revenge, but all these things. I was talking to a friend on Saturday night who was sharing that her kid was going through this. And it was like a moment that we had to have, because I'm like, you need to listen. I listened to this, and you need to listen to this.
Michelle,
and maybe
great
have
recommendation.
Your kid. It's so good. It's
Yes.
so good.
Well done. I absolutely love and admire. And luckily for me, I reap the benefits of you taking in the important content. See, you taking the stuff that
I'm doing the hard-hitting work here. Lauren is leaning into her leisure. That's okay. That's okay.
Listen, when you've got a toddler, you have to. Okay.
We trade off. Listen, my time with these kids is forever, but I'm trying to just, gather as much information as I can.
And I love it because I really do reap the benefits. So thank you. All right. So what are you doing for your own cozy, mindful well-being 16 days out of Christmas?
I mean, honestly, so many things. I'm slaying it in that department, but I chose to share with you my fireside reading chats. Ryan,
amazing. Tell me more. Are you lighting a freaking fire?
Yeah. And I was like, this is cozy AF. And, I'm going to expand on this and say that one of my other things is getting off social media. And I know you were probably like, you're the worst influencer ever. I don't really give a shit. I'm sorry.
No, I don't care about that.
There. I thought for a minute about taking a picture of my perfectly curated image with my fire crackling while I read my book. And I was like, for why?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, I hear you. You're in the moment. Just enjoy it for yourself.
And the way I felt in my body in that moment was better than any
dopamine rush from a
surface response that I would get that I didn't need. And it's not actually. So yeah, there you have it.
Bless. For me, mine is really finding time to spend with, and holiday time to spend with my loved ones. Luna and I do a lot of little holiday things together. Tonight, Luna, Anthony, and I are all going to go and experience a little holiday fun. But with that being said, I'm a kind of person that if I've got one thing going on in the day, that's the thing. Like so yesterday I took Luna to this fundraiser to see Santa, and we had a great time together. And I spent some time with my friend, Jessica Canning, who is part of the chair of Wings, and my friend Elizabeth, who invited me to join her at this beautiful occasion and event. And it was nice to have a little moment of conversation with them. And then that's it for me though. That's my threshold. The rest of the day I get home, I get out of my fancy outfit.
Love it.
And Luna and I were chilling.
Take the heels up.
Okay, we don't jam pack our days because I can't deal with that. But also, as I mentioned, having a beautiful dinner with Dad and Debbie with a Y, my friend Maggie and I grabbing that martini. And I know that there's more little holiday snippets of loved one time to come in the following days and weeks. And I have absolutely loved creating those memories and experiences.
It's really fun.
Oh, it's wonderful. All right, listeners, we want to hear from you. Write in on our website. You can go to the podcast tab and there's a little part that says, talk about a topic, but feel free to use that tab as a place where you share your thoughts on our conversations here as well. And what is your gift giving habit looking like this year? Like, is it different from years past? Are you getting your kids all new iPhones? Are you getting them a card and some chocolate covered nuts? We want to know what you guys practice in your home because we love hearing from you as well. All right, you guys, we hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. Take care. And as always, stay cozy, listener. Thank you for joining us for today's cozy conversation. For more of The Sister Project, check us out on Instagram at The Sister Proj and our website, www.thesisterprojectblog.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and maybe even drop us a review. Until next time, stay cozy.